Hello everyone, this is Gage from Gondorian Smith, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys another 3rd Age Reforged online multiplayer battle replay. Now this one is a 3 versus 4, good versus evil, kind of a historical battle. It is the Siege of Hornburg, and it was sent to me by one of the Rohan players who, ironically enough, is named Isengard Mex. He and 420 No Scope will be playing as Rohan armies, and we have also got Son of the Dunedain playing as the realm of Lorien here, so it's, like I said before, a historical battle. And there are 4 attacking Isengard armies. But without any further ado, we can go ahead into the army compositions, beginning with, well, just kind of this blob. All the armies are kind of blobbed together, so I'm just going to kind of go over them as a whole. There are a few units of the Westmark Infantry, which is a sword and shield infantry unit that was previously not in Rohan, kind of just the sword and shield variant of these Westmark Spearmen. However, both the Westmark Spearmen and the Westmark Infantry are capped at 2, so you cannot bring a lot of them. And they're not particularly high tier, they're more kind of like middle to like average tier. I think they have like, I think the Spearmen have 4 attack and 19 defense, and the Westmark Infantry might have like 5 attack, 19 defense, something like that. There are also a lot of lower tier Rittermark Spearmen here. There's also 2 catapults, I think one is from Rohan and one is from Lorien. There are also 3 or 4 units of the Westmark Marshals, which is a kind of above average shock infantry unit, which is of course AP. There is also like a bunch of units of these Rittermark Axemen, which is just a lower tier version of these Westmark Marshals, and these guys are also of course just going to be 2-handed Axemen who are AP shock infantry, and they should not do very bad at all against the heavily armored units from Isengard. There are also like 3 or 4 units of the Rittermark Archers, who are actually not bad at all, just mostly because of how many men they do have in the unit. This is on normal setting, by the way, which is why there's only 103 of them in the unit, but on huge, I believe it has like 203 men in the unit. Isengard Mex General is over here in the Arid of Aldburg. You can see Theoden with his glorious new unit model here. There are also some more Rittermark Axemen, more Westmark Infantry, more Westmark Marshals, and also some Helmingos. Over here on the walls, you can see some of the Edeltirith, I believe. Son of the Dunedain has 2 of these guys. They're a very, very cheap body piercing unit. However, I do believe they're going to be losing their body piercing in the upcoming hotfix, which is as it should be, because as it is now, you can bring 3 of these guys for a very low amount of money, so they are a little bit too strong for what they cost. There are also 3 or 4 units of the Aowen's Shield Maidens, which is of course an axe throwing unit. Very, very good against the heavily armored units from Isengard and any faction for that matter. There are some more Rittermark Archers up here, as well as a couple units of Sylvan Silver Spears, some Helmingos, and some more Edeltirith. Down here in this first gate, we have got a couple units of the Sylvan Staff Masters backing up 2 units of Lorien Spears. There's also 1 unit of the Westmark Spearmen here, a couple units of the Lorien Blades, actually looks like 3 units of them. Some more Westmark Infantry, one of the best pike units here in the game, that being the Karisgaladhan's Guardians. There's the Elven Catapult here, some more Aowen's Shield Maidens, some more Westmark Spearmen, and back here we've got a lot of the elites. Like 2 units, it looks like, of Hornburg Sentries. One from 420 No Scope and one from Isengard Mex. Wait, actually this looks like yeah. Is this where his general is? I think that's the general. Yeah, that must be the general, actually. In addition to this, there are also some Sindar Blade Masters without the armor upgrade, so this is what they will be looking like if you do not give them the armor upgrade. If you want them to look like their normal silver selves, then you have to give them the armor upgrade. Here's the 3rd unit of Edeltirith here, 1 unit of Maethar Elas Gillan, 1 unit of the Galadrim Nobles, and 1 unit of Sindar Archers here. And it looks like also 1 unit of the Meduzeld Guard, which is a very high tier Javelin unit that Rohan can field. There are also some Rittermark Archers and some more Helmingos. So a ton of skirmishers here. I think it's going to be very difficult for Isengard to break through that defense. However, they do have plenty of counters to the Rohan and Elven factions' strengths, so we'll just have to see if they can exploit those weaknesses. So, the first Isengard army is being commanded by Boban. He's got 3 or 4 units, it looks like, of Uruk-hai infantry. These guys are actually pretty pricey. I think they're like maybe like 750 to maybe 800 florins each. However, they are very good. They have like 9 attack and 20 defense, so definitely above average in terms of standard sword and shield infantry. He's got a couple units of the Uruk-hai crossbows, as well as a couple units of the Uruk-hai archers. He's got 1 unit of the Orc ballista, very nicely positioned on this hill. It will maybe even be able to fire like over here into that huge wall of Rohan forces, which if that ballista is able to do that, it's going to cause a huge amount of damage. In addition to this, he's got some Nazkai, some Champions of the White Hand, some Trolls of the White Hand, 2 units, looks like, of Half-Orc Main Guard, some more Uruk-hai crossbows, as well as 1 unit of the Uruk-hai pikemen and 1 unit of the Uruk-hai berserkers. So that will pretty much do it for his army. So we can now go over here to the next Isengard force. which is being commanded by Spinner 95. He's got 3 units of Uruk-hai infantry manning the siege towers, as well as 1 unit of Nazkai. He also has 1 catapult, 3 units of pikemen, 2 units of Uruk-hai archers, 1 unit of Dunlending veterans, 1 unit of the Trolls of the White Hand, 1 unit of Uruk-hai berserkers, 1 unit of the Guards of Orthanc, which is where his general is, a very high tier spear unit that Isengard can field, and they actually do give a very nice morale to units within like maybe 150 or 50 meters of them. He's also got a couple units of Uruk-hai crossbows to pretty much round off his force. He could also have some hiding units like some half-orc Vanguard or Spear Guard, but I do not know that for sure. Over here we can see Stormhawk's general's unit of the Champions of the White Hand, and the rest of his army is up here on this mountain. Also something to note about 0.95, one of the many cool things about it anyway, is that the Hornburg can actually be sieged by more than 3 armies. Now before, I think you could only use 3 armies to attack it, which kind of limited how big of battles you could have on this settlement. However, now you can have quite a few more attackers. I think maybe even 5, but I'm not totally positive about that, so don't quote me on that. Anyway, Stormhawk also has a couple units of crossbows, a couple units of Uruk-hai archers maybe, but he also has 1 unit of the Lurch's Hunting Pack, which is another new unit to 0.95. It's a very elite bow unit that Isengard can field, and they might be body piercing as well, so they can do a lot of damage to blob forces. He also got 1 unit of his own Nazkai, 3 or 4 units of the Uruk-hai infantry, some Uruk-hai berserkers, a couple units of pikemen. Here's his infantry. He also has his own catapult, some more Uruk-hai infantry, some more crossbows, and finally 1 more unit of Uruk-hai infantry. So that will pretty much do it for his army, besides that 1 unit of Dunlending veterans. So we can now go over here to the final Isengard army, which is way back here. They're gonna have a pretty long march to get there, but still. This one is being commanded by Crunch Doc 14. He's got some Trolls of the White Hand, some Champions of the White Hand, couple units of crossbows, 1 unit of Guards of Orthanc, 1 unit of Uruk-hai berserkers, 3 units looks like of Uruk-hai pikemen, 3 or 4 units of Uruk-hai infantry, another catapult, some more Uruk-hai raiders, and I think that pretty much will do it for his army. So again, very similar Isengard armies, but still they're very, very deadly. It actually, oh, what the? Can they just march straight down here? I don't think they could, but that'd be kind of an interesting thing to happen, just getting attacked from behind like that. But anyway, we can go ahead and start off without any further ado. Oh, I do not want it at 1.9 speed though. There we go, that was weird. Anyway, so it looks like Spinner 95 just wanted to kind of leave those rims there to give his advancing troops a little bit of cover from the arrow fire, so he is going to pull back with his infantry and the Nazkai. However, they are kind of getting shot in the back by the Riddermark archers here, so they will probably take quite a few losses, because their nice shield values will not protect them from the rear. However, they do have some pretty good armor, and I know the Nazkai do have hit points, so they won't take a ton of losses here. You can see Saruman standing there with his Nazkai. I actually think there's quite a few Sarumans in this battle. Yeah, look, there's one right there with the Guards of Orthanc too, so 2 in the same army. But anyway. Looks like Spinner will probably be trying to get his catapult into position. It'll be interesting to see if Spinner and Boban decide to wait for their allies, or if they are just going to attack right away. I'm thinking that they'll probably wait, so if that is the case, then I will go ahead and make it cut, and I will just see you guys again once the assault really does begin in earnest. Ballista trying to get into position, but not able to quite yet. So the Uruk-hai archers are actually firing over this hill here, and over the wall as well. So they might be going after just this blob of troops here, getting a few hits, but not a ton of hits, unfortunately for them. The Arid of Alberg is not going to be a great pick, probably, in this kind of a battle, unless you wanted to charge them out right away. But he would have to be very, very careful of all the Trolls and Champions of the White Hand. Champions of the White Hand are, of course, a very, very good anti-cavalry unit. And the Trolls also are incredibly good at taking out cavalry. However, something that the Arid of Alberg has over both the Champions of the White Hand and the Trolls is that the Arid of Alberg are very, very fast. Oh. The ballista is firing, but unfortunately it does not have on the fire ammo. Ooh! Yeah, look at that. The area of effect spearing 3 or 4 horsemen with just 1 missile there. Arid of Alberg taking quite a few losses already. as well as some of the Westmark infantry, unfortunately for them. So it looks like 420 no scope and Isengard mechs are going to be retreating there, as well as kind of spreading out some of their forces here so they don't take as many losses right away, because units like the Riddermark Axemen, who don't, well, they do have shields, but are relatively lightly armored, will take quite a few losses, even to low-tier archers like the Uruk-hai archers. So they're trying to get into cover behind this wall here. And the catapult is firing. It looks like he's, getting some good hits here on these Helmengast, which on normal setting, artillery in particular can do a huge amount of damage just because of how small the unit sizes are. Pikemen moving forward a little bit, it looks like, and yes, the catapult's still firing. We'll watch maybe one more volley, and then I will go ahead and make a cut, because it does look like they are going to wait for their allies, which is of course very smart. It'd be very unwise of them to attack without the support of their allies. And so it looks like it's going to be kind of wasting a little bit of ammo here. Just going after the archers might be better to either just like actually try to hit the gate, or just save it for later, or try to actually take down this wall here. But the Arid of Aldburg actually going to be pushing out now, so I guess we can watch this. But again, he's going to have to be very, very careful with his Arid of Aldburg, because while they are fast, Isengard has a ton of anti-cavalry units like their pikemen, the champions, and the trolls. Also, the crossbows would absolutely melt the Arid of Aldburg. Oh yeah, it looks like he's trying to go after the catapult. Some pikemen are moving over there, as well as some trolls and a couple units of Snaga skirmishers, which is who are a low-tier javelin unit. Arid of Aldburg taking some arrow fire now. Oh, but looks like he's going to try to charge up to the catapult crew anyway. Yeah, he's going to get a charge off, but unfortunately for him, he's not going to kill the catapult crew, and instead it's going to lose him his Arid of Aldburg, because, yeah, they just broke because of the pikemen and the trolls and the fire of both the javelins and the archers. So, very unfortunate mistake there, but they will probably come back from routing as soon as they get back to the city center. Take a look at the advancing Isengard armies for a second. Yes, the Lurtz's hunting pack, very, very good unit. You can actually see Lurtz himself standing there in the officer's position. However, he better hope that Aragorn is not here defending Helm's Deep. Yeah, looks like Stormhawk brought over his unit of Champions of the White Hand to ward off any more cavalry that might decide to push out. Okay, it looks like the catapult is in fact now going to be going after the wall. Or maybe they're just trying to hit these blobs of troops. No, it looks like they're going after the wall, which is of course smart, because if you want to breach the deeping wall, or at least take the settlement, you are going to have to make a lot of holes in this wall here. Uruk-hai archers still in pretty nice firing positions here. Just going to be firing straight over this wall here. It looks like they might be targeting the catapult crew. Not a bad idea, however it is going to waste a lot of arrows trying to do that. And the Isengard infantry trying to find whatever shelter they can behind this wall here. Ooh, and the ballista is still firing. However, while the Orc ballista is very, very damaging. Ooh, a lot of those shield bands going down. Anyway, however, even though the Orc ballista is very damaging, it is quite inaccurate. So you have to be pretty careful with how you're trying to use it. But trying to fire at these blobs here will probably work out pretty good for him. Wall at 60% down, or 60%. Getting a little laggy with the wall falling down. But it looks like the allies of the Isengard players are actually pretty much here, so I might not make a cut actually. We'll just have to see. You guys can skip ahead in the video if you do desire. Oof, yeah, there are a lot of Isengard forces here. Actually, I really do enjoy playing Isengard. I haven't played much of Isengard, but I just started playing them a little bit a few days ago. And I actually really do like their playstyle. They are very fun to use. And I also, unfortunately, do not play a lot of Rohan. However, I do want to change that very quickly here, because both of them are very fun factions to play. Ooh. See, now this is going to be interesting here, because from this wall here, you can actually send troops up this kind of ramp here, and then get them all the way up onto this bigger wall here. But if they keep firing the catapult here, they might not be able to get a tower up here on this wall, because obviously you can't get it through a staircase, because the staircase is back here. And I don't know if there's actually enough space for a siege tower to put there.
Fight on.
Ballista taking out a portion of the wall there actually as well. But yeah, so that might have been a grave error on the part of the attackers there. We'll just have to hope that they still will be able to put a ram here on the small portion of the wall. If not, it was definitely going to be very, very good for the defenders. Yeah, the ballista is actually very good. The orc ballista anyway is very good against buildings, taking out that portion of the wall. Ooh, the Rohan forces trying to blobbing up even more, trying to get out of the range of the artillery. There's a lot of artillery for the attackers. I think all of them have an artillery piece, except for maybe one? No, I think all of them actually have artillery. All 4 attackers. The Uruk-hai archers are still firing as well. And up here it looks like, yes, Crunch Dock 14 is just about here. Going to begin backing up Bobbin. Or Boban, I don't know. Half-Orc Vanguard, if you did not know, is a 2-handed shock infantry unit with okay-ish armor, but like all shock infantry, they are going to be pretty weak to missile fire. Pikemen really don't need an explanation, nor most of the other Isengard roster, because most of them are pretty well understood as it is. Ooh, the catapult here is going to maybe have some difficulties getting shots off, at least until the Isengard forces start going through the gaps in the wall. But as it is, I think the Elven catapult is probably better positioned to get a lot of kills. But the defense here at this gate is looking pretty nice. Oh, the poor Helmingost that got killed by the catapult. Just getting flung off the wall into the gate. Probably not going to do wonders for the morale of the defenders. If it was real life anyway. Yeah, a lot of elites back here. Meduseld Guard, very, very good. However, he might find some difficulties in getting them into a firing position in this back city center. However, he could just push them forward into a better position as well. Another artillery piece being pushed forward now, the catapult of Stormhawk this time, which is probably good because the catapult of Spinner 95 is probably getting somewhat close to running out of ammo. It's getting a little bit more laggy now that there's so many troops getting in here. Oh, looks like the Isengarders are going to open up another hole in the wall there. So that is a smart move because it's going to put more stress on the defenders. They're going to have to spread out their forces way, way more thin than they would probably like to. But the only thing is, now the attackers won't probably be able to put very many troops on the actual walls, which could prove unfortunate if they want to get their crossbows up on the walls to fire at the defenders in the gap back there. But we'll see how that works out for them. Ooh, yeah, now the Isengard archers targeting the Westmark Marshals. Going to be a very good target. Because while the Westmark Marshals do have pretty good armor and I believe a shield value, they are of course shock infantry, so they are going to take quite a few losses to that. You can see they already have. Now down to only 41 men remaining in the unit. The Rittermark Axemen also going to take a lot of losses from that kind of fire. Looks like some Rittermark archers might be getting pushed forward to try to stop the crossbows and Uruk-hai archers, as well as some more Snaga skirmishers. However, it looks like these Snaga skirmishers are not in range, and they're going to be getting targeted by a lot of archers, and they are going to take losses from that because they have like no armor. But the Uruk-hai crossbows are firing. Don't know what they're firing at. Looks like they actually haven't even loaded their crossbows. No, one man fired an arrow. Looks like maybe just back there somewhere. Ooh, Snaga skirmishers advancing on their own, not going to do very good, because even if they get through this gap here and into a position where they can fire a volley, yeah, the defenders are just going to be able to push out a unit here and stop those Snaga skirmishers right away. However, It may make the unit pushing out here in range of the crossbows. However, it looks like both factions are going to retreat their unit. Nope, Boban is going to come back with his Naga skirmishers here. Really intent on getting a volley off somewhere. Ooh, these poor Riddermark archers getting shot from every angle. Oh yeah. Okay, now it looks like this is going to be the end of this Naga skirmishers. They're getting shot and they're getting attacked now by the Riddermark axemen. Wavering, and pretty shortly here they will probably rout. Because they are far outclassed by the Riddermark axemen. The AP of the Riddermark axemen obviously is not going to do much against these Naga skirmishers. However, they just overall attack value should serve them very well. Surprisingly, this Naga skirmisher is not going to rout. Going to just instead retreat. However, there are some rams being pushed forward now, which is going to force 420 no scope to pull his archers off the wall and instead put up some lower tier spearmen. The low tier spearmen will get butchered by the Uruk-hai infantry. However, they will probably hold long enough for the Riddermark archers to fire into the flanks of those Uruk-hai infantrymen. So there's a ladder being pushed forward from Stormhawk by some Dunlending veterans as well.
The enemy siege tower has reached our walls.
And there is a ram over here on the main gate, so it looks like the assault is just about to begin. Fully, anyway. And yes, Uruk-hai infantry running up this tower here. The other unit is actually going to go through the gap here. And while the Uruk-hai infantry are good, they will get attacked. They will get defeated very quickly here because they are unsupported. Ooh. Oh! I did not expect it to go through that gate, but it did. Did it kill anyone? Oh, yes, it did, actually. It took out a number of those Karaskalad Guardians. But anyway, that's a very smart move there to try to fire through that gap, or fire through that gate there. But yeah, the Riddermark axemen, just because there are so many of them, will do very good against the Uruk-hai infantry, who are kind of just ignoring the Rohan infantry and seem to be going right for the catapult crew, which, oh, I did not think would work out very well for them, but instead it is actually working out very well for them. Gonna probably kill the whole crew before they actually are defeated.
Their eyes. The enemy's ram is through our gates.
However, the Uruk-hai infantry are actually shaken. Oh, he needs to run. Yeah, he's running his catapult crew out of there, but he needs to do it very fast if he wants to save that unit. Oh man. Oh, and over here, these poor Westmark marshals now down to 15. I don't know if he just left them there on purpose to waste ammo, but either way, probably not the best move. Or if he just left them there on accident. But you can see that the Isengarders are starting to pour some more units through these gaps here, but they're really just kind of advancing in waves, which is not going to be very good for them. Ooh, but getting a nice catapult hit right there on the Riddermark axemen. Uruk-hai archers broken, another unit of Uruk-hai infantry backing up some Naga skirmishers, getting cut down by some Riddermark axemen, and on the walls, the Riddermark axemen are doing slightly better than the spearmen, who are getting kind of butchered, but the axemen are actually wavering here. So Rohan's definitely going to need to start firing their arrows into the flanks of these infantry if they want to hold the wall for any length of time. However, at least in these gaps here, they are still doing very well. Isengard is maybe advancing some units to the gate now as well. So they're also moving forward some more infantry to these gaps in the walls. And I don't know about you guys, but I just love seeing a good old Isengard versus Rohan battle, especially on Helms Deep. I really like both of the armor styles as well from both Isengard and Rohan. They look very nice. Over here, some Dunlending veterans are getting cut down by some Westmark spearmen. And over here, looks like some more Uruk-hai infantry is being pushed forward. Well, technically not Uruk-hai infantry, but they're half-orc vanguard. Still, they will do the job. Westmark marshals backing up some Riddermark axemen, so a lot of AP there. And on the walls, the spearmen down to 36, and the... I can't see because they're building. And the Riddermark axemen down to 11. However, it looks like some more Riddermark axemen were pushed up. However, they are shaken because they are about to get outflanked from both sides. Uruk-hai archers also up here. So it looks like the Isengarders will maybe be able to put some skirmishers up here to fire down at the defenders. However, this unit is probably out of ammo, which is why he sent it up so early on.
cunning foe has reached our walls with their siege tower.
Ooh, it's actually looking pretty bad right now for the defenders. Looks like this gap right here was undefended, so some pikemen and some Uruk-hai infantry managed to sneak their way in here. Looks like the catapult crew was all taken out. Westmark infantry gonna try to maybe outflank these pikemen here, however they themselves are going to be getting flanked by some Uruk-hai raiders. And over here the Dununding veterans are starting to make a little bit of headway against the Westmark spearmen. And in the gate, oh, some brutal catapult volleys from the Elven catapult. It also looks like the Aowen Shieldmanes are wreaking havoc amongst the Isengarders. And yeah, the Aowen Shieldmanes paired with the catapult, and that'd be enough to rout all the units there at the gate. So the Isengarders are going to have to pull back and rethink their assault there. However, in the at the deeping wall, things are looking okay for them. They were able to sneak some units across, but really what they need to do is just push everything forward at once, because right here the defense is very discombobulated. It's really uncoordinated, at least at the moment. So I think a pretty good push by most of their units here would be enough to crack the defense back here at the deeping wall. Ooh, but some berserkers will also do very nicely here. Going to be able to cut their way through the last of these axemen and Westmark marshals. So far, been a very bloody fight. Ooh, some Uruk-hai infantry coming down off the wall is going to be outflanking these rear-marked axemen who are trying to do their best against the Uruk-hai pikemen. Westmark infantry trying to hold back some raiders. And over here, some more axemen and infantry are cutting down some Uruk-hai infantry. Ooh, Uruk-hai coming down off the walls now. I feel like I've said infantry so much. I'm gonna just say Uruk-hai for now. Uruk-hai infantry, Westmark infantry. But yeah, the berserkers really doing a nice job of cutting through the defenders here. Gonna rout the last of those marshals and rear-mark axemen. And up on the wall, looks like Isengard was victorious. There are some nicely positioned archers right here, though, from Isengard mechs and 420 no-scope, going to do a lot of damage here to the Isengarders. Westmark spearmen down to 29, and unfortunately, because of the havoc that is always caused by siege battles like this, he is unfortunately going to leave them here to get shot by Uruk-hai archers, Snaga skirmishers, and Uruk-hai crossbows. So that will be the end of that unit. So yeah, right here, the defense out here in the deeping wall really uncoordinated, and as you can see, a pretty big push from Isengard has pretty much been enough to really put a ton of stress out here on the defenders. In the middle, it looks like Isengard is back for another fight. Uruk-hai pikemen, however, being very outnumbered, they are actually shaken. Oh, and the constant volleys from those Aowen shield maidens, taking out a huge number of those pikemen. But well, I don't know if it's the wisest move to use the Aowen shield maidens right away, just because of how many trolls and Nazkai the Isengarders do actually have. Not to mention the Guards of Orthanc, who are also heavily armored. However, they can do less damage, so they're not going to be a huge worry, at least on the offensive side of things. But yeah, out here, Rohan really struggling, and Isengard really doing nicely.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Actually, doing this makes me think I might do like a maybe a series of Rohan versus Isengard. I think that'd be kind of nice, like maybe like a destruction of the West Fold would be kind of nice. Because yeah, it's really cool to see Rohan versus Isengard. Berserkers, now getting targeted by a ton of archers, are going to start taking losses because they have, like, I think 0 armor. However, they do have a couple hit points to protect them. However, eventually those hit points will run out and they will die very quickly. Snaga skirmishers doing their best to take out some of these Westmark marshals. And over here, the rear-mark spearmen completely surrounded on all sides by Uruk-hai infantry, and Uruk-hai archers will fall very quickly. Oh, yeah. A little bit of a micro mistake right here. This unit of Westmark marshals just getting javelin to death. There's still a pretty healthy unit right here of Westmark infantry, though. Gonna probably be committed to the fray. However, right here, these 9 Westmark spearmen are not going to be enough to hold back these Uruk-hai infantry for very long. So, 420 no-scope is going to commit another unit of his axemen here. Those pikemen at the gate again routing. 420 no-scope now going to actually commit a unit of his archers now. Ooh, but right here, although the spearmen were defeated, they did an excellent job of providing an excellent target now for the archers up there on the wall. Looks like there's actually some rotten meat being flung into the defensive positions. So that's going to do a lot of morale damage to the defenders. Uruk-hai infantry probably going to get defeated here by the 2 units of Riddermark Axemen. However, they are going to do a pretty good amount of damage before going down. Westmark infantry going to leave the safety of their allies and instead try to slow down these Uruk-hai infantry here. Probably not the best move, just because now they are going to get surrounded and probably break before holding for very long. Probably would have been a little bit better to just stand them here, maybe in loose formation, even though they would probably get targeted by the Snaga skirmishers. Yeah, they're just breaking instantly. Pikemen here doing a very, very excellent job because, unfortunately enough, Rohan does not have a ton of answers to pikemen, besides their archers and Eowyn's shield maidens, and because their archers can't really target the pikemen at the moment, and there are no Eowyn's shield maidens out here, it is going to be very, very difficult for Rohan to deal with those pikes. Oh, and something to note is that somebody did ask me to put the banners on, so do let me know if you guys enjoy this or not. I think it's okay. I think it breaks the immersion just a little bit, but if you guys like it, then I'll keep it there. Oh, but yeah, so far it looks like Isengard just beating back the defenders here, and it looks like a lot of the Isengard forces are still left alive. Ooh, a lot of friendly fire there though. Isengard Mex is going to commit some Riddermark Axemen here, but again, being outflanked and kind of low in numbers, they are going to get routed probably pretty quickly here. They're wavering, shaking. Well, they might actually hold for a little bit longer then. But yeah, so it looks like the defenders were soundly beaten out there on the deeping wall. So they're going to have to retreat back here to the keep. Well, not keep, but second defense, really. Edeltirith going to do a huge amount of damage to the Isengard forces just because of their body-piercing arrows. Definitely one of the biggest targets for these Edeltirith should be those Uruk-hai pikemen. But we'll just have to see what they target. But again, it looks like Isengard did make a pretty big mistake here. It looks like they were unable to put a ram on this wall, especially now that it's damaged, which means the only way that they can go up here to silence these archers up here is by going through this gate and up this door, which is going to be much more difficult than just going straight up this way through the deepened wall. So while they were able to beat the Rohan forces out here, it's going to be very difficult for them to silence those archers. However, up here it looks like some Uruk-hai archers are getting surrounded by some Sylvan Staff Masters and Spearmen, going to be enough to rout them actually. Sylvan Spearmen, not a bad spear unit, but being heavily outnumbered, they probably won't do super great. The Lorien Blades, however, will do very good. They have got some really nice attack and defense values. Not a ton of armor, however, they do have a lot of skill. Westmark Infantry also is a very nice unit, and these pikemen will hold for an insanely long time. There's a lot of Westmark Spearmen here around here as well. Not a great spear unit again, but as long as they're supported, they should do okay. But this unit's kind of not really supported at all, so we'll just have to see how that goes for them. Yeah, still a lot of... Well, I kind of take it back. At first I thought there was a ton of Isengard forces left, but there really isn't a huge amount left. I mean, they mostly just have a lot of elites left. They still have a ton of units of the champions, the White Hand. They've still got a lot of Nazkai, a few pikemen, some berserkers, Nazkai, more Nazkai. Oh, the Nazkai and trolls are going to be very difficult to take out. Probably the only way they'll be able to take them out effectively is with the Eowyn's Shield Maidens and Medusa Elfguard, but we'll have to see if they do save the ammo for those units. Back here, looks like Spinner 95 still does have quite a decent amount of his force left. Stormhawk also has a few, pretty decent amount of elites. And Champions of the White Hand, Uruk-hai crossbows. There's still the Alertes hunting pack with full ammo. More pikemen. But yeah, it's actually looking a little bit more close than I had thought previously. I think mostly what's keeping the defenders in the game so far is just because how many forces the attackers have lost here at this front gate, with really making no headway either. 44 to 42, so yeah, within 2%. A really close battle so far. Ooh. Isengarders trying to force their way through here to get at these Westmark Spearmen. It looks like the Karis Galadhon's Guardians are going to be trying to defend the way into the keep, which is of course smart. However, if these Westmark Spearmen do get broken through, which probably will happen, it is going to leave all these units out here on the gate to get surrounded, not only from this way, but also from this other gate here. So it might be a better idea to maybe pull back this unit of Westmark Spearmen to have their backs to this unit of Westmark Infantry. But we'll see how this works out for them. Looks like the catapult crew is trying to get into a nice position to fire into this wall of Isengard forces. Yeah, tempting to turn around. Having a little bit of troubles there. There are still a lot of Rohan archers here. Not super deadly, but mostly just because of how many men they have in here, they should do all right. There are also still, of course, the Sindar archers, the Galadhon nobles, and the Maethar Elas Galen, who are also very deadly. And the Hornburg sentries as well, who are a multiple hit point hammer and shield, technically, I guess you could call it, unit. And they are AP, so they will do very nicely against a lot of the Uruk-hai units. However, against the Nazkai, they would maybe lose just because of the fact that the Nazkai are more offensively minded, whereas the Hornburg sentries are kind of more centered around defense. But it would be an interesting fight. Ooh, but yeah, right here, the Westmark Spearmen going to lose miserably to those pikemen, but instead of that happening, the catapult crew getting an insanely nice hit there, routing that unit of pikemen off the face of this battlefield, which is very good because the Westmark Spearmen would get wrecked by the pikemen just because the spearmen do not have the range to deal with those pikes. Guards of Orthanc, pikemen, catapult crew. Looks like Isengard is bringing forward some more pikes to try to attack the gate, as well as some Uruk-hai archers. Really what they probably would want to do to break through that center area is commit some trolls, or maybe some berserkers, or maybe even a unit of Nazkai, because they do have a lot of Nazkai. But pikemen, while they would do okay at assaulting this gate, the main thing that they would suffer from is missile fire, and because of the fact that they are pikemen, they're not going to do a very quick job of taking out these defenders, which will just allow them to get catapulted and shot by arrows for a very long amount of time. However, because of how these defenders are kind of positioned, it looks like the Isengarders would probably be able to sneak up onto this gate here. Those characters walked in and instantly routed. But yeah. Oh, Helm's actually going to charge at these pikemen, who are shaken. Yeah, being surrounded like this from all sides, not going to do very good for them. Definitely, I think they should commit maybe a unit of Guards of Orthanc here just to give a little of morale support. But then you'd have to worry about the Awen's shield maidens and catapult crew, so it's a very tough position that Isengard is in at the moment. But yeah, because of how the defenders are positioned here, it looks like the Isengarders could probably get up on this wall here. However, they would get stopped, at least for a period of time, by the Sylvan Spears, a low-tier Elven Spear unit. But over on this flank, the Elves are very outnumbered. So if they are beaten back by the Isengarders, it could allow a lot of room for Isengard, maybe to even get some crossbows back here and firing into the back lines. Ooh, looks like some trolls are indeed coming now, but oh, the catapult of Son of the Dunedain doing absolute work against the attackers here. 45%. Oh, a lot of routing. That's not good at all. Oh, that's too bad. And the pikemen are going the wrong way. They're routing the wrong way, which means they're going to have a lot more losses. Oh, and now because of that, these trolls are going to be unsupported. And unsupported trolls will always die very swiftly. So it looks like he will hopefully pull them out. No, he is going to commit them. So unsupported trolls here, they will probably fall pretty quickly. So yes, if you guys did not know, make sure you always support your trolls with a couple units, because otherwise they will just get surrounded and cut down pretty quickly. Some Westmark Spearmen are going to be trying to help out the Elves against the trolls. Spearmen not going to do really very good against the trolls, but they should at least give a little bit of support to the Elves. Oh, but Berserkers on their way now. Berserkers, also a unit you would want to support just because of their low numbers, but if they do get stuck in melee and they are supported, they will shred through pretty much anything that Rohan can offer. I don't know if it's Rohan or Rohan. I think I call it both ways, but anyway. Oh, but Berserkers are definitely not a unit you'd want to get catapulted, but oof, looks like they were pretty lucky there. Actually, a lot of the Lorien spears are getting taken up from a little bit of friendly fire. Yeah, the Berserkers will do a very nice job here against the defenders. And now that the trolls are supported, they should do a little bit better. However, they have already taken a couple losses, it looks like. Oh yeah, all these units here are shaken, except for the Berserkers, of course. So I really do think that the Isengard players need to bring at least one unit of Guards of Orthanc up here, just to give a little bit of morale support. Oh, or not, because that would probably happen to them. And just like that, the Berserker is down, and now down to 6. And a ton of routing right there is going to send the Isengard players fleeing for the hills. Now, it looks like some trolls managed to get up here on the walls, going to engage in melee with the Sylvan Silver Spears. Or no, not Silver Spears, just Sylvan Spears. And over here in the other gate, looks like the Westmark Spearmen are doing an okay job against the pikemen and infantry. Gonna actually try to, looks like they're trying to push out a little bit. However, there are some trolls coming in here, so if the trolls are able to push through, it may prove very ill for the defenders. Oh, but just look at the bodies out here, man. The defenders took a lot of losses out here, but so did the attackers. It was pretty, I think it was definitely more in favor of the attackers, but not by a lot, not by a lot. There are still a lot of crossbows left, but unfortunately, the attackers are running pretty low on infantry. So it's going to be very difficult for them, I think, to be able to pull this off if they can do so anyway. These units still just constantly running back and forth because of the catapult crew routing them. Uruk-hai looks like they maybe thought about going up there to fight, but instead decided to pull back. Okay, now it looks like the attackers have learned from their mistakes, realizing that if they just keep pushing forward like that, they are going to take a ton of losses. So it looks like they might actually just try to sit back and skirmish some of these defending units to death, which would be very smart. However, it looks like the crossbows are not even going to be able to fire very many volleys because of the Uruk-hai infantry that just got committed there. So kind of nullified his smart move there by pushing forward the Uruk-hai infantry, who are going to probably rout right away. Same goes for the Uruk-hai pikemen. Over here, though, the trolls making a little bit of headway against the Westmark Spearmen. However, there are some Aowen Shield Maidens and some Sindar Blade Masters there to stop that advance. Westmark Infantry going up on the walls here to... oh, I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they were... I thought they were going to maybe try to go after a couple of these trolls, but looks like both of the trolls up there were taken out. Yeah. All of these units here just so low on morale. They really need some support. But, oh, they're actually... because of the low mass of the elves, they're actually pushing through the elven defenders here. However, with the break of that unit of pikemen, it's going to be difficult for them to actually hold this break in the liner. Son of the Dunedain going to be forced to commit another unit of Lorien Blades there. But it looks like some Sylvan Staff Masters are going to outflank the Uruk-hai Berserkers and pikemen and infantry, so that will probably be the pretty swift end of those attackers. Over here, it actually looks like, ooh, Uruk-hai were committed to the fray, but they are going to do very well against the Westmark Spearmen. However, because they're not supported, they probably will take a lot more losses than they would have if a unit had supported them. It would also probably have been maybe a little bit smarter for the defenders to let the Uruk-hai come in, because then they could have gotten, the Uruk-hai could have gotten killed by catapults and Aowen Shield Maidens. But anyways, it looks like the Isengarders here, although they are surrounded, are doing actually an okay job of holding there, at least for the time being. And over here, the Isengarders are starting to make a little bit of headway. It looks like they managed to beat back most of those Westmark Spearmen. And the Aowen Shield Maidens, although they did get off a lot of deadly volleys, are now out of ammo. Oh my goodness. Son of the Dunedain's catapult is getting so many kills. So many kills. Uruk-hai crossbows trying to get into a better firing position. You can see just how many skirmishers they really do have left over. But again, they are running quite low on infantry. Uruk-hai at 31. But again, now that they are being backed by some pikemen and some other units, they are doing a very good job of cutting down those Westmark spearmen. Looks like some guards of Orthanc are finally going to be advancing, along with what remains of these Knight skirmishers. Actually, there are 100 of them. Probably, I think one of the mistakes that the attackers made is they brought too many skirmishers. They probably should have went a little bit more infantry heavy, especially because in sieges like this, the attackers normally don't have a lot of good places to put their skirmishers. So bringing this many skirmishers was maybe a little bit of a mistake. These pikemen still trying to hold their ground here, but being outnumbered and surrounded, they probably will fall. Basically, there's only one Uruk-hai berserker left. He's 1v1ing with the Lorien spear. However, the Uruk-hai infantryman was able to save the berserker's life. Berserker now going to start going after some Lorien blades, and he was somewhat dead. Oh, over here, for every inch that the Uruk-hai gain, they're paying for it dearly with lives because of that Lorien catapult. Blade Masters down to 30, Westmark Infantry at 72. And the A1 Shieldbanes, when they're out of ammo, actually aren't horrible infantry, mostly just because they have pretty nice defensive values. They can't really kill a lot of things, but they can definitely just hold for quite some time. Uruk-hai were able to break through those Westmark Spearmen with the pikemen and guards of Orthanc, so they are now going to push forward again into this defensive position. Looks like they pushed forward just a little bit too late. Those pikemen are now routing. Yeah, with the guards of Orthanc here, the defenders, or attackers, sorry, should probably hold for a little bit longer. However, if the catapult starts firing and takes out those guards of Orthanc, that may be the end of the assault on that gate. At least for the time being. Catapult is probably also going to be running out of ammo pretty quickly here because it's been firing for a very, very long time. However, it looks like it still has at least one more volley. And unfortunately for the attackers, this catapult seems to have had really very little friendly fire, which is rather unfortunate because catapults are most of the time pretty inaccurate. So it is very unfortunate that there hasn't been much friendly fire, because I mean, like right there, that was like no friendly fire. That was all Uruk-hai pikemen and Uruk-hai. Oh my, and just like that, there go the Isengarders. The settlement proving to be a very, very difficult one for the Uruk-hai to besiege. Oh, this freaking omnipotent catapult still apparently has ammo. It's probably taken out so many of the Isengarders. It's just insane. Uruk-hai, although they are at 20, they are getting surrounded now, so they will probably just get stun locked to death because they're going to be getting surrounded. Guards of Orthanc gonna hold for a while, but again, probably going to share the same fate as the Uruk-hai. Some more Uruk-hai infantry trying to make their way in here, but again, there's not a ton of Uruk-hai infantry left over anyway. There are still pikemen, champions, the White Hand, and crossbows. There's also still the Alerts' hunting pack, but looking pretty bad right now for the attackers. The percentage is still pretty close though. It's 56 to 54. Oh, what was that? Oh yeah, the Yes, this is what the attackers need. They need to get their own catapults. They need to get their own catapults to start firing, because if they're able to take out the expensive unit. Did I just see what I thought I saw? Did that really just happen? That has got to be the best catapult hit I have ever seen in my life. I mean, it didn't take out that many units, or very many men, but I think because of the angle that this catapult is on, it looked like it just fired like almost straight up. It was in the air for like probably a solid 5 seconds, then came back down straight onto those Karis-Galadhan's Guardians. I don't know how that happened, but that was pretty awesome. There's actually quite a few Isengarders over here. I did not think that there would be that many. Uruk-hai probably need to be committed. But yeah, that was intense. I have never seen a catapult do that. I did not think it could do that. Or maybe I was just seeing things, but if it really did arc the shot like that, like way over this wall, being in the air for like a solid 5 seconds and then landing on those Karis-Galadhan's Guardians. Oh my goodness. That was awesome. That was so good. Uruk-hai crossbow is trying to get into a little bit better of a position to begin firing. The Snaga skirmishers also still throwing their javelins, but they are going to be getting attacked now by the Sylvan Staff Masters and are going to have to retreat. Still a lot of Uruk-hai around. There are also still a lot of champions of the White Hand. Looking back at this, the attackers probably regretted bringing so many champions of the White Hand. Especially because they're not going to be able to break through units like the Karis-Galadhan's Guardians. Uruk-hai are committed here now. And in a choke point like this, they're actually not going to get stun locked nearly as bad as you might think. So they should do actually pretty dang good here. You can see they are doing a very nice job of cutting through the rest of our infantry. Catapult firing. Oh my. How? I have never been so lucky with a catapult like that. Like, normally whenever I try to do things like that, it won't work because my units are too close to the units that I'm firing at or whatever. That has never happened to me. Oh my goodness. The catapults. Yeah, out here, the Uruk-hai players, just Isengard players, do not have enough to hold this portion of the ramp here, so they are going to actually be getting taken. Oh, there it goes again. Did you guys see that going straight up into the sky? Let's see where it lands. I can hear it. There it is. Yes! How? How does that happen? I have never seen that in my life. What the heck is that? That is so awesome. Oh my goodness, that is so dang cool. I have never seen that in my life. Well, actually, now I've seen it like 2 or 3 times. But anyway, yeah, over here on the causeway, the Isengard players just don't have enough units to hold back the Rohan players, or the Rohan and Lorien players, so it looks like there is actually going to be kind of a sally out from the gate to try to stop these Uruk-hai crossbows and Snaga skirmishers from doing any damage. However, back here, the second unit of crossbows will be able to do a pretty decent amount of damage to the forces that have sallied out. Still, looks like 1 unit of pikemen, some more crossbows, and 2 units of champions of the White Hand. But again, that catapult, every time, man, that is so awesome. I've said this like 20 times now, but that is so cool. And it's actually has turned things a little bit back in favor of the attackers, at least for the time being, in this portion of the gate, because you can see there really are no defenders left over. However, there's really not very many attackers left over either. There's only 3 Uruk-hai, looks like. Karis-Galadhan's reforming, some of the catapult. Ooh, but yeah. While the defenders are definitely still holding strong, they have paid for it dearly. And oh, that catapult, man! I gotta go back up here again. Let's see where it lands. It's like in the air for like 10 seconds. Did it hit anything? Oh yeah, check out some of those Lorien blades. That is just so intense. That's so cool. That is definitely something that I will be trying out for myself next time I play this map. Looks like that's about it though. Some trolls being pushed forward now, and some sylvan spears. Oh, and some guards of Orthanc. Okay. It's getting a little bit interesting here. I saw another catapult so fire, so I want to see where it lands. Oh, looks like they're trying to weaken the defense over on the main gate. And some guards of Orthanc going up on the walls. Not probably going to be doing much up there, except for maybe if they're trying to like outflank these units down here at the main gate. Uruk-hai infantry looks like they're trying to do the same, surprisingly enough. But again, they're probably just trying to get out of the way of the catapult. Edeltirith going to the main gate, maybe going to try to skirmish with the crossbows down here that are still firing into the defenses. Oh yeah, and these Snaga skirmishers also still throwing their missiles. Ooh, those poor shield maidens and Lorien spears. There's only one Lorien spear left. One staff master, 2 Edeltirith. 5 shield maidens. And the shield maidens are actually returning volleys with their axes, surprisingly enough. Still Nazkai, still Lurtz's hunting pack, a lot of crossbows. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult, I think, for the defenders, especially because of how many elite units that the... oh, sorry, this is going to be very difficult for the attackers because of how many elites the defenders have remaining. Oh, fired again.
Our men have slain
Oh, there goes the
general.
general. That is
him, his
probably
troops will
one of the
lose their will
Isengard
to
ones
fight.
because I saw a dead guard of Orthanc there. Yeah, it looks like they were caught by these Sylvan spears there. And there's the catapult, taking out a ton of those Westmark infantry. This is like the most entertaining thing that I have ever seen today. Well, not that I've ever seen, but that I have seen today. Seeing the catapult arc that shot so intensely. It's in the air for like literally 10 seconds. And then just landing square on these units back there. Well, I think I will speed it up just a little bit. Not to full 2 times, but at least to maybe like 1.4. Nah, it's a little too fast. 1.5. Just because things are a little bit, kind of reaching their slow point. Looks like some Maethar Elas Galen of Son of the Dunedain are getting into position on the wall to fire their javelins into these blobbed up Isengard forces. Although it looks like they might actually just be waiting for a better target than units like the Snaga skirmishers. However, there are some Uruk-hai pikemen, no, one Uruk-hai pikeman in there. Some Uruk-hai infantry though. Guards of Orthanc getting taken out by some Murdermark archers. Lorien blades also coming over now to this gate. And some trolls finally advancing. And so to stop that, we've got some Westmark spearmen moving forward. Karsgaladham's Guardians still biding their time. Ooh, that catapult, man. The poor Isengard players cannot get a break with that catapult. Oh my goodness. But it's gotta be running out of ammo soon, right? I mean, it's been firing this for so long. We got crossbows trying to, again, fire their missiles. Helmengast coming up here on the wall. Maybe they're gonna start firing, but they could also maybe be going over here to maybe outflank. But no, looks like that wouldn't be necessary. So the battle is somewhat getting kind of close to an end. There's still a number of, well, quite a lot of brains left. However, at least for me, I think the outcome is kind of decided. However, there are some berserkers now to try to do their bit against the defenders. Trolls the White Hand trying to help out the last of those guards that were within. Doing an okay job, but oh, the catapult taking out Trolls and Berserkers alike. Same with Snaga skirmishers, Uruk-hai infantry. Very, very difficult battle for the attackers. However, I'm sure that it was probably a pretty enjoyable one for both sides. Maybe a little bit more so for the defenders, just because of all the good catapult hits. Also, I wonder if anyone in-game noticed those arcing catapult shots, because that would be, I would be cracking up. Like, if that happened in a battle, I would just be cracking up. I would be laughing so hard if I saw that in a real battle. Like, well, in a battle I was playing anyway. Looks like these axemen were getting shot. Oh my, the catapult, it has no friendly fire. I don't know what is with this catapult, but it literally has no friendly fire. Oh, however, the defenders being kind of low on numbers on this gate are starting to get enveloped by the Uruk-hai infantry. Looks like they're trying to make one last valiant push. There's still some pikemen left over though, and some crossbows. Nazca marching forward, and some more trolls. But things could possibly turn around. There's still a chance. Really what they need to do is silence that catapult, which is once again readying for another volley. Maybe this time we'll get a little bit of friendly fire. Nope, not really. Not getting a ton of kills, but still, it was able to take out a number of the Uruk-hai berserkers. Helms now coming down here to stop the advance of these Uruk-hai infantry who had been outflanking the defenders. The front on the main gate has, whoa, once again started. Actually, some champions of the White Hand managing to sneak through. If they're able to cycle charge into the back of these units here, like the Edeltirith or definitely something like the Lorien Blades, things could quickly turn around, actually. Yeah, they are indeed going to do just that and take out those Lorien Blades. However, looks like some body-piercing arrows of the Edeltirith going into the blobbed up Isengard forces is going to do a huge amount of damage. Actually, a lot of routing here going on now. Ooh, looks like, actually though, because of the fact these champions of the White Hand are here, the Isengard players might be able to actually take out these defenders here in this second defense of the Hornburg. We'll see, because you can see right here that the body piercing and the catapult has really done its work on the Isengard forces. And the champions of the White Hand, not having a ton of room, are now starting to get taken out. They're trying to do their best, taking out a lot of those Westmark infantrymen. Oh, the catapult though, now going into the remains of these Isengard forces, Uruk-hai berserkers, crossbows. There's probably some Nazi in here somewhere. Yep, indeed there are. Champions of the White Hand now getting attacked, but they are going to rear charge some Lorien spears, which is all that is left holding this gate. Galadrim nobles here though, ooh, yeah, this is, I don't know how this is going to go. Still 12 Lorien spears, but it looks like the attackers were able to break through this gate finally. Over here, looks like Rohan and Lorien were able to retake this portion of the gate. Yeah, those Isengarders just getting shot in the back by arrows now. Helms and Galadrim nobles and Edeltirith all firing their arrows. Oh, but Berserkers going up here to engage in melee with these Galadrim nobles. Galadrim nobles are certainly very, very deadly in melee, but the Berserkers are also very good, and they actually have a few more men in the unit at the moment. So it will be a pretty close fight up here between the Berserkers and nobles. It's like 2 Berserkers have fallen and 3 of the nobles have. Oh yes, this is exactly what the Isengarders need. They need their catapult, or not their catapult, their crossbows to start firing. They need the crossbows to start targeting units like the Helms Guardians and other units. I'm just going to assume that that was the Isengard general, but I could be wrong. Yeah. Looks like the Galadrim nobles are kind of pulling it back here. But again, the nobles taking a lot of losses. Oh yeah, the Helms helping out the nobles now, shooting the berserkers in the back. But again, the crossbows doing quite a bit of damage here, shooting all of these defending units in the back. A very smart move. You definitely want to target units like the Helms Guardians, and just anywhere where there are blobs of troops, for that matter. Oh, yeah, the berserkers were defeated. And now the Nazkai here are getting targeted by some Edeltirith. Looks like the crossbows are also getting targeted, but mostly it's the Nazkai. Oh yeah, the catapult also going after the Nazgai. The Medusa Guard going up there on the rampart. And here comes some Hornburg sentries. Lorch's hunting pack is now here, but it looks like this is probably going to be it for the attackers. Now the attackers are heavily losing percentage. And just because of the amount of elites that the defenders have left, I think it is probably inevitable on who's going to win. However, there are still some units that could do a lot of damage for the attackers. They still have trolls, Nazkai, pikemen, crossbows. I think I just saw another unit of champions of the White Hand going in now. There's also still some crossbows, but all of these units back there are going to be getting targeted by what remains of the skirmishing power of the defenders. Medusa Guard standing up here, getting ready to throw their very deadly javelins anywhere where it is needed. I think I can go ahead and put up to 2 times, at least for the time being, just until the infantry fight kind of takes place. Oh, the catapult taking out more pikemen. I would not like to be an Uruk-hai pikeman because the whole battle they've just been getting taken out by catapults. And another excellent hit right there. I think I have to name this like Artillery Madness or something, just because of how many excellent catapult hits there's been, and because of the insane arcing shots. I mean, that was like honestly
only half the enemy force remains.
Lurch's hunting pack and crossbow is going to be getting attacked now by some Hornburg sentries. Lurch's hunting pack will lose that fight definitely. Had they been maybe able to fire their arrows, they might have been able to do a little bit better. But yeah, they are going to get taken out by the Hornburg sentries.
Behold how our cowardly foe runs.
Up here, the pikemen were trying to deal with these Cinder archers
the
and Galadriel nobles, but they're just getting shot in the back by these Helmingas. So that is going to be the end of that unit. Back here, there are still 11 champions of the White Hand trying to do what they can, trying to take out a few of the defenders before they are in fact killed. But again, it was a very bloody fight. Still is one more unit of Nazkai somewhere. Uruk-hai pikemen, Uruk-hai crossbows. Yeah, I don't know where that other unit of Nazkai is, but I saw one. I don't know where it went. Here it is. Oh no, that's crossbows. What? Where are the Nazkai? Oh, they're right there. They're getting surrounded. Yeah, I think it's probably safe to speed this up now, though, because it's basically just going to be the last stand of the attackers. I think really the main thing that the attackers probably made mistakes on was bringing so many skirmishers. I think they probably could have dropped the Snaga skirmishers mostly for some other units, and maybe not had so many crossbows or archers. And definitely I don't think it was necessary to have the champions of the White Hand, just because the trolls and pikemen and crossbows would have been enough to deal with any cavalry that the defenders might have run. And yeah, the catapult, ooh, just doing so much damage, Hornburg sentries will easily be able to take out the unsupported trolls. AP really going to shine there. Well, AP and hit points. Nazkai, though, did an excellent job of butchering these Westmark spearmen, but they are now going to go up here and get shot in the back by Helmgas while they try to take out the Lorien nobles. No, I take it back. Oh, it was not Helmgas, it was actually Maethar Gillen. Oh, poor Nazkai, man, poor Nazkai. Arid of Aldberg out here as well. They will get absolutely destroyed by the champions of the White Hand.
Good tidings.
But
the enemy general lies
champions
dead.
of the White Hand just got catapulted, so that will probably not be the case anymore. 5 champions against 6 Arid of Aldberg. I still think the champions would win, though. Even without the general. Crossbows, trying to take out some Maethar Gillen. Medusa's guard out here, trying to fire their missiles. But looks like that's pretty much going to be it. You know? So I think I'll go ahead and put it up to 6 times. Not a super close battle, but it was within 14%, which isn't bad. Ooh, gonna get very laggy here while I speed this up. Uruk-hai trying to hold their own against the Maethar Elaskillen. Lurks hunting back in, champions the right hand.
Our men no longer command the castle.
Gonna get taken out by the Ridmark archers and whatever else is there. But again, you can see the defenders, while they were able to win, they don't have a lot left. Mainly what they have left is elites. They do have a lot of elites left, but they do not have a lot of numbers left. And that catapult, it probably had to have a gold chevron by now. I mean, it killed so many men. Hopefully, if Son of the Dunedain watches this, he can comment how many kills this catapult got. Because it killed so many. And there goes another Isengard general. And that is basically going to be the end of this battle as we go into the last few frames.
Behold, this is a clear victory.
Yes, it was. It was a clear victory, but it was still a very cool battle. Big thank you to Isengard Mechs for sending it to me. Looks like Son of the Dunedain got the most kills with 1,700, and he only deployed 940 men. 420 no scope going next, and then being followed by Isengard Mechs. Most kills for the attackers, it went to Boban with 1,123 kills. So 420 no scope, 26 kills for his Medusa guard, 153 for his Helmigas, and on normal settings that is a lot of kills. Ooh, 151 for his Westmark marshals. Isengard Mechs got a lot of kills with his Helmigas again. And that's pretty much going to be the end of this video. So if you guys did enjoy, please comment, like, and subscribe. If you guys did not, just tell me what I did wrong, and I'll be sure to fix it for the next video. So farewell wherever you fare, till your eyes receive you at your journey's end.